Welcome to my channel, everyone. I'm Charlene, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. For those of you that are just new subscribers, I just want to say welcome. I really appreciate you being here. So, for the longest time, I spent way too long thinking I was getting life wrong, that somehow everybody else had the secret sauce, that they knew how to get the things that they wanted in life, and I was just excluded. So, when I started my spiritual awakening, when I started my spiritual journey, I had this incredible opening, which was, oh my God, I've been living according to what everybody else was telling me would make me happy. But I've always had this like secret little voice inside telling me, well, I actually know what's right for me. So maybe I should just double down on that. And once I started to do that, my life got a whole lot more fun. It got a whole lot more exciting, and I just enjoyed who I am and my experiences, and I used all of it and I turned it into wisdom. And that's really the reason why I started this channel, was to show and to highlight how your life can be just designed the way that you want it to be. You don't have to follow somebody else to find fulfillment or happiness. So a lot of people are sharing their journey and what worked for them. And they will, constantly show, oh, look at all the people that have used my techniques, or look at all the people that are similarly living this way. And so you go along this journey thinking that, yeah, I'll just try all of these different approaches on and it should work out for me. And then you get to this place where you're like, why isn't it working for me? This is why you're meant to actually do it differently. You have a very specific curriculum that nobody else has. Your soul incarnated in this lifetime to live through certain experiences, to learn higher lessons. And it's this big mystery. We don't know what it is that are, or maybe we have an idea. Okay, maybe you have an idea, like what are some of the themes? What are some of the patterns that keep showing up in my life? These are the things that I meant to move through. There's a cat that's going to tip this over. Um, so one of the things that I just kept getting tripped up on was using everybody else's techniques instead of my own. And it's when I doubled down and just trusted that I came to do it my way, then everything shifted. And so I would love for you to just try this on, because I do believe that we get inundated with the same messaging over and over and over again. And it's just something that, has become really, really popular because there are people that are really good at, let's say, manifesting something out of nothing really, really fast. But that's actually not why you came. I believe as a soul, we came here to be fully realized, fully actualized. And that is something different. That's a whole different ballgame than just getting a bunch of things, manifesting them in 3D, which is fun. I'm not trying to deny that. But I'm here to tell you, if you're like me, you came for the journey. You came for, at the end of every experience, you learn a higher lesson. You deepen a sense of purpose. You reconnect with the part of you that was lost along the way because you believed everybody else instead of your own intrinsic knowledge. That's the journey that you came for. So stay with me, because I want to give you a couple examples from my life and how, by listening to myself, things have really unfolded for the better. So let's start with something that I brought up many times before, but it's so powerful, which was I was experiencing eczema. And my journey was, I tried Dr. Joe Dispenza's method last summer, and it worked. And his method is very much like, it's very similar. You really align with, okay, this is the thing that I want. You get into that emotional state. You keep doing the meditations every single day. And eventually, he talks about it. It's like, it is law that it will manifest, it will happen. So what happens is, and I did this, right? I saw my body was fully cleared. I got into the feelings of it every day. I wouldn't look at my body. I would just wash my body. I would put on lotion, and I would just imagine, even though I can feel the itchiness and I can feel the roughness, I would just imagine it was all gone. It was all cleared. And I was very grateful. I did that for a month. And literally it worked. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing, right? So then it comes back maybe, I don't know, 8 or 9 months later, when I'm dealing with a lot of stress. And then I was like, oh no. So what should I do? Well, I'll just do the same thing I did before. I tried this method again. And it's interesting because I had all of these questions now, which I'm now understanding is what happens when you live through something and then you just kind of try to copy and paste the same thing you did before. It doesn't work, at least for souls like me, which it may apply to you. It doesn't work because you have to really align with who you are in the present moment, not who you were. Because now I have a knowledge. It worked before. However, there's doubt because it's come back. So the doubt voice and the fear voice were stronger. It was starting to question this method like, maybe there's something more here that I need to do in order to clear this. That was the first awareness. So I tried again, it wasn't working. In fact, all it was doing was it was creating more anxiety because I was trying really hard, efforting. And if you know anything about energy, you're trying to overcome the initial fear, you're not letting it come up. So the fear was staying like stuck into the body, which caused more inflammation and more itchiness. So it wasn't working. I was aware of this. It showed up in my dreams actually, which is a good sign for you. Sometimes you could actually get out a dream diary because that's how your soul speaks to you. That's how your higher voice speaks to, at least to me. And so it's a way to kind of create a new communication method, right? So was it working? At this point, I was going to India. I started in India at the beginning of the year. I got to go for 2 months. It was amazing. I'm like, great, I'll go to India. There's so many healing modalities there. And I'm sure just staying at this ashram, which is what I did, it's going to clear me, no problem. So I'm staying at the ashram. Now, things come up when you're meditating, when you're doing a yoga practice, when you're in sadhana, when you're in community every day, 5 in the morning, things come up. So things get a little worse. At the same time, simultaneously, I see this video show up by a teacher that I've never heard of. His name is Rupert Spira, and he talks about non-dualism. And the idea with non-dualism is that really all truths, all things can exist, and you are the awareness that holds space for all of it. So therefore, this is how I approached it. I was like, I wonder if without efforting, I can look at my skin and know it's already healed. So here we are looking at the skin, allowing the fear, allowing the reaction, which is very counter to most manifestation techniques, right? Allowing that reaction and knowing it's already healed, trusting that I am the awareness that my body, these beautiful mechanisms that literally their whole job is to keep us alive and to heal us and to restore us into balance. If I truly just let go, stop doing, get out of the way, it will heal on its own. What I discovered was it was a lot harder because the eyes signal to the brain, which looks at the skin saying it's not working. In fact, it gets worse. So I'm aware that the voice gets louder before it gets softer. It's like pushing that, it's like turning the volume up on all of those doubt voices saying, this is not possible. It's not going to work. There's no way this is going to work because how is it going to work? You're just going to do nothing and expect it to work? And the answer was, I'm just going to do nothing. And I'm going to know that it's already healed and it is working. So I'm doing this now. I'm in India. In India, at the specific in Rishikesh, home of all of the yoga studios and really every single spiritual modality that you can possibly want. So there was sound healing, there was Ayurveda, right? There was all these different things. I could have went and saw an Ayurvedic doctor, could have gotten a consultation, could have heard, their remedy for this eczema that's showing up, but I didn't do that. I said, no, I'm going to trust that it's working no matter what, even though I was in a country where there was so many external factors, so many things in my face telling me shiny, shiny things for super cheap. It would cost me $5 to go for an hour consultation, right? And I still said, no, I'm going to trust it's already healed. Because if I go outside of myself, it's not bad, it's not wrong. It just didn't feel aligned. Now, let's say I did go see a doctor and that doctor said, you need this, this, and this, and this, prescribed all these things. I could have went just out of curiosity and done none of those things and still, went on my way. But I didn't do anything because I know, based on my experience, based on trusting myself, this is important. How do you build trust? You start. You just keep building it. And every time you're curious about, I wonder if this is going to work. I wonder if I should follow this. Follow the thing, and then you'll know. At least you'll know, oh, okay, I tried that thing, didn't feel right, didn't feel aligned, or I tried that thing. You know what? I want to change it a little bit. And you create your own little alchemy, which is what I was doing. So I didn't go to any doctors. I didn't do anything. I just sat in the discomfort of every day, seeing the eczema, feeling the eczema, and knowing it's healing. I just knew it. And guess what happened? It healed. This is what's so brilliant. Now, I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again because there might be new people on here. The question that I asked myself so that if it potentially comes back again, there's not this huge fear, oh my God, what am I going to do? This is the question. Can I live with this forever? Will this come back? Potentially it can come back. And I know my body knows how to heal. That's it. My body knows how to heal it. So I was also eliminating the charge of being afraid if it comes back. And that is the true alchemy. It doesn't always happen right away. It takes some trial and effort. But here's the beautiful thing. When you start to trust yourself, and you trust yourself so much that you know the difference between taking action from fear, doubt, worry, scarcity versus curiosity, inspiration, knowing, joy. It's like you start to understand your own mechanics of how it works. And it's going to keep changing. But that's the beautiful thing because you're evolving and you're growing. And so your different alchemy, although I will say this, it gets stronger. My knowing and my ability to trust gets stronger every time I double down on my belief. Period. End of story. Full stop. And that's really what you want. Because then you're spending your life answering to you. And it's not that I don't listen to other people. I listen to other people all the time. I read all the time. I'm learning all the time, like I said. But I know the difference between acting from curiosity versus acting from worry and, oh my God, doubting myself and I should have done this and da 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 da, right? Typically, what happens is we try something on, we've read, we've heard, somebody told us, a doctor, whatever, and then maybe it works for a while and then it doesn't work. So then you need a stronger pill, a stronger something outside of you to take in order to eliminate, oh, this discomfort, this uncomfortability, this feeling that you've done it wrong. So you go outside yourself again, you try something else, it works for a little while, then it doesn't work again, and then you continue on. Oh, I got to do another workshop. I got to go on this retreat. It's just a constant giving your power away over and over and over and over and over again. If you are like me, you don't need to do that. In fact, you know you don't need to do that. I'm literally talking to you. Okay? You just have to start trusting your own higher voice, your own soul's voice. It's never going to steer you wrong because there's always, everything is here for you, including the contrast, including the things that we don't want. And when you start to trust, despite what your 3D reality is showing you, and you make it through that little hump, it gets easier and easier to trust. And the tests and the initiations are going to be stronger, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities to move through it in a new way. And you will. And by God, when you do, you're going to be like, yes, yes. And it feels amazing. And that is the whole reason we go through this whole thing, is to feel for that moment how empowering it is when you know that you trusted yourself and it worked. And it's not even that it worked, because now I'm putting an emphasis on something external needing to work. I just mean you trusted yourself. You trusted yourself. And that's enough. So comment below and tell me, what is something right now that you wish or that you want to trust yourself more with? Whether it's, I want to trust myself, making this decision to leave this job or to find a new home or to something simple as, start a meditation practice or start whatever. Just drop it in the comments so that we can all support each other. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, experience is our greatest teacher. So experiment with your life. Sending you so much love.